All right, everyone. Hello and welcome to Webinar Wednesday. We're back for another session, so I'm really excited about this one. Today, we're going to continue the conversation we've been having about digital income generation basics. And today, we're going to focus primarily on helping you create a 10-step plan to kicking off your digital income plan journey. So this is going to be a really interesting conversation. And I really even address this topic simply because my audience, on my newsletter, my community, over the years, people have watched me monetize my expertise, my experiences in many different ways, especially through my public speaking career. And one thing that has been very, very confusing for people is that, everyone knows that we live in a digital first economy. Everyone's trying to figure out how to tap into the digital economy, but we're overwhelmed by all the multiple influencers, gurus, scam artists, and people, just everyone is talking about it, but not everyone is really simplifying that conversation. So this is my attempt of really trying to not only simplify how you could tap into this world that we are now living in, but also helping you see my journey and to monetize my experiences and what I've done over the years. And hopefully that journey and that conversation really helps you really learn how to monetize this year and beyond. So I'm really hoping that this is going to be a useful session for you. So today we're going to obviously address, today's reality, the way things have changed, revisit the foundational elements of really kicking off your digital income plan, and then we'll dive right into the 7 secrets of visibility, the fundamental things you need to do to really gain visibility, to grow your audience and monetize over time. So we're going to talk about all that today. Now, by introduction, my name is Christine, and Tim, if this is your first time interacting with me, hello and welcome to my channel. Welcome to my ecosystem. Many people know me as a serial entrepreneur. I've built and scaled multiple tech companies over the past decade. I'm a personal brand influencer. I always talk about the fact that entrepreneurs should be always building their personal brand and their value proposition as they build their companies over time. And of course, I'm a tech ecosystem builder, global speaker. But on a personal level, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and I am very, very, very much a food junkie, movie sensationalist. Like, I just really love to travel and really build a life that really speaks to my personal attributes and the communities that I serve. And so it has been a crazy journey, doing all of the things and being featured in all the media outlets. I can literally run down my resume, but why this will be pertinent to you in this conversation is that out of all the things I've accomplished in my life, I have been blessed to really first prioritize the importance of personal branding, and two, really leverage the fact that I've learned so much along the way and monetize that experience through speaker bookings, book engagements, partnerships, endorsements, digital content. I mean, I have done so many different things to monetize. And even after 10 years, I am still on top of learning new tricks and trade and secrets and strategies to not only continue monetizing my experiences, but also staying relevant, staying on top of things, and still being valuable to my community. Because at the end of the day, to monetize expertise means to really stay valuable to those who need that expertise. And so that's the reason why this background has helped me get to this position where I am today, to be able to connect with you about this topic in general. So hello and welcome. So I just wanted to introduce myself in that regard. And so taking a step back, this is actually our 2-part webinar because there's so much to discuss, right? And there's so much to unpackage when it comes to trying to figure out all the things that comes with, trying to generate income online. And so last week I talked about part 1, which is digital income generation basics. I talked about the 3 foundational elements of really preparing yourself to even participate in this digital economy that is accelerating at a mile a minute. And today we're going to talk about the 7 things that you need to do to grow visibility to start monetizing. So I'll do a little bit of refresher on last week, but if you want the full, 45-minute webinar on that session, feel free to click on the links below to be able to get access to that information. So without further ado, going back to the initial conversation when we first started talking about digital income generation basics, we started by just talking about the fact that there's so many participants in this conversation that it's overwhelming. And I started by just having the basic conversation that if you were to just go online and learn and type in how to make money online, you will be bombarded by videos, graphics, memes, information, webinars, courses, masterclasses. I mean, you name it, you frame it, someone's going to have something to say about how to make money online. And unfortunately, either 70% of them are just not really good at explaining this, or another 80% or so are just like telling you things that helps them make money, but not really help you understand this market. So there's a lot of bullshit in the market, just to get to the point, right? And so what I'm trying to do is really, first off, recognize and validate your feelings and the fact that it's overwhelming with all the things that we have to do in today's society, to now try to improve our lives by trying to really understand how to monetize online and be overwhelmed by all these different players. It's a lot. So I'm trying to give you pretty much an easy button and show you pretty much how to start and really kick off in this journey. So that way, as you're navigating and learning and monetizing your experiences bit by bit, you kind of know the roadmap and the journey. So you're not overwhelmed by all the different directions you could go into by starting this journey from scratch. Okay. And this is probably going to be helpful to you in the sense that for me, I had to learn the hard way over the past decade in terms of, okay, how do I start launching courses? How do I monetize my speaking engagements? How do I get partnerships and endorsements with corporate Fortune 500 companies? Like, I had to learn these things from scratch: contracting, content generation, content creation. I mean, it was a lot, right? And I'm sorry, you're going to have to like go through that process as well. But having a roadmap helps not only get you through that journey, but also accelerate your journey. So I really hope I could contribute to that for you today. All right. So with that said, my aim is to, through these webinars, to give you that step-by-step process to help you start generating money online. So with that said, up front and center, I already shared with you guys that it's a 10-step part to really kicking off this journey. And again, last week we talked about the 3 fundamentals: creating your value statement, so you know what are you trying to do and who are you targeting to provide that value, creating some way to attract them on the internet through social media and through email listing strategies, which we'll talk about more today, and creating some type of mini offer that you can monetize. Okay. And again, this is all experimental, so it will change and adjust over time, which is why people will say like, well, I'm not ready to create an offer. I'm not ready to create a lead magnet. Look, just go through the process, because it's not until you put yourself out there that you'll reiterate these things so you are able to really grow and scale at an exponential rate in this space. Okay. So just to give that background, this introduction to the digital income world has a lot of people just going crazy right now, right? And people are trying to figure out, okay, there are people who are making money off of telling people how to make money, but they're not actually making money off of anything. And there are people who are out there who are really found success in their careers. And that's why it's important for you to look at people. What is their career journey? What things have they done that's been successful? Have they launched a product? Have they launched a business? Did they monetize that business? Are they featured in media outlets for that business or for that career? Like, look at that person's success journey, because you have to monetize some form of success in your life in order to start teaching about it. If you're looking at the person's journey and all they're doing is just doing courses about doing courses, but they haven't done anything in their life that shows that success, then you got to question it, right? So with that said, people have figured out how to tap into this digital income economy, okay? And right now we live in an age where you no longer obviously have to just work or consult or work on projects to monetize your intellect. Now your life journey could be packaged into a digital product that you could sell to the masses on autopilot, right? And so people want to figure that out. And I talk about this in many different webinars I've hosted where, people tend to say like, look, like, there's 1,000 different people selling how to cook online, right? But maybe how you go about it is unique, because we all have unique experiences. And so I try to frame it in a sense that, you have an experience plus your journey. And because of who you are, whether you grew up, in the South, whether you grew up in New York, whether you grew up in some place in Africa, that journey plus that experience gives you a unique perspective. And keep in mind, you might have this unique equation, but how you package that into value is how you map out the secrets, the strategies, the tactics, the tips, the blueprint, the roadmap. That packaging, that's digestible for someone to be able to replicate that success is what helps you become a thought leader that people could tap into and learn from and grow their lifestyle in a way that's successful, right? So this is the thing that people really get tripped on because not everyone's good at packaging their strategies, what made them successful. And those who are really good at that, look at their teaching style. That's why I always tell people, never buy for someone that you haven't seen, right? Have you seen them on video? Have they seen them in person? Have you seen how they teach? Like, if you could see their mantra of speaking, how they engage, how they share, you will understand how they package information and how they provide value. And are they open? Are they honest? Are they vulnerable? Are they, trying to share as much as possible? Or are they trying to be very exclusive? Like, you really tend to pick that up and their vibe by just seeing how they engage, which is why video now is very key. A lot of people do not do any buying decisions without seeing at least one type of video or in-person interaction with the person that they're buying from. And that's just the world that we live in because there's too many players in the market. So that's a journey that you need to go through to be able to do that for others who want to learn from you. All right. And again, anyone could do this. This is not, relevant just for celebrities or certain people. Anyone can go through this process of monetizing their experiences and their journey, whether they're digital creators, entrepreneurs, corporate professionals. I have a lot of people say, like, look, like, I can't build a whole business around this model. Like, I need a safe salary to do XYZ. I had another person like, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I want to do this, that, and third. I'm amazed at just how repetitive people's profiles are in the world and just like how unique they think their situation is. It's not. Like, there are millions of people who live your life. It's how you want to live it. So I'm not saying anything that I'm teaching you means that you have to overhaul your whole life to do it. I'm just saying that, look, this is the world that we're living in. This digital economy is here to stay. And this is the method that you, no matter who you are, no matter what your background, no matter what your age is, right? Because you have people as young as in their teens, so as old as 60 plus, who are figuring out this tool, this blueprint to monetize their experiences, right? And so just want to make sure that you are aware that you are capable of doing this, even if it takes you multiple steps. And I feel like there's a lot of envy of people looking and comparing themselves to other people on that journey. Focus on you and your background and you'll get to the rest. So with that said, me creating the start button is that, look, I'm trying to let you know that people have figured it out, right? They figured out, something in their life, whether it's like cooking, whether it's, playing, whether it's, teaching, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's, moving up the corporate ladder. And there's a group of people who want access to that information. And I want to help you walk through that journey of doing that. So with that said, let me just tell you about that step-by-step plan, right? So the first three things in kicking up your digital income journey is, first and foremost, creating a value statement. And that value statement is you pretty much being out front and center. Again, this is a little bit of recap from last week, but I want to make sure I set this up in the next 2 to 3 minutes so that way we could dive into the 7 visibility activities that you need to do to really gain exposure to monetize your intellect, right? So going back to, you have to start with a baseline. And this is something that I didn't realize that organically I was putting it out there, but I had to go back to the basics after kicking off my speaker career to really be very direct and articulate about step number one, in order to really accelerate my growth in this market, right? So that value statement is pretty much you saying to the world, this is who I help and this is what I do and this is how I do it, right? Because now your title, being the CEO of XYZ, doesn't matter anymore, right? People want to know, okay, if I connect with you, what value can I get from your content, your energy, your background, your creed? So that value statement is very simple. It's one sentence. And you're saying, I help X to do X because of X. So what that looks like is like, I help women to monetize the experience online so that way they can feel free to have a unique lifestyle, right? That's who I target, what I do, and why I do it, right? So very, very simple. You need to answer that question. Please tap that in the chat. I would love to hear people's value statements and how you want to go about to create value in the world. Once you create that, then you know, okay, if I know this is the value I want to do for women, for example, what do they need? What information do I need to tell them to help them navigate the online space and monetize online? I'm a public speaker. right? And I have monetized my public speaking career. And so I know like my gateway to help women monetize their careers is teaching them how to become public speakers. So I'm going to share articles, photos, videos, quotes to inspire them, to teach them, to show them how to do that. And probably my number one lead magnet, and what is a lead magnet? Something that I package that's for free, and in exchange they give me their email so I could keep in tabs with them off social but also through email as well. And that could be a checklist of what you need to do to build a public speaker profile. Or I have a very popular one, which is personal branding for beginnings, which is very, very popular on my website that people download on a regular basis, right? So creating one lead magnet that's going to be very hopeful for people that people could use. Through that, I gain traction. People are really noticing what I do. The third thing we need to do is create some like mini offer that you can monetize. And I always tell people, because you don't understand how to do it fully, don't be afraid to just record yourself for 2 hours, teach you something fundamental and charge us just $100, $50, $20, because you're just trying to make sure that you have a value statement, who you want to support, something that you want to give to them for free, right? That they could capitalize on and leverage immediately without you expecting anything in return, and something that you could sell them down the road. It's like, look, if that checklist was helpful, I have a 2-hour boot camp for $99 that you could tap into that could really take you to the next level. That is it. Just have those 3 fundamentals: your value statement, your lead magnet, and your mini flagship offer, just so you start. And listen, even if you're not ready, you could always experiment and adjust this over time. And so what this looks like, this is the breakdown. Like, for example, my value statement, I help women monetize the experiences online because I have found freedom in my life and want to share it with others. I've created multiple lead magnets, but for me, I will post daily updates on social media on my talks, webinars, life at home. I share great articles on women rocking the digital speaker circuit. I post my top 10 things women should do to launch a speaker career checklist for email download. These are the things that I'm putting out there so people can see me and see what I'm doing and want to replicate my success through all these resources for free that I'm putting out on social media and that I'm following up with through email. And then the digital product that I create is I will offer a 2-hour boot camp on how to get started in the speaker circuit in 30 days and share my journey of lessons over the past 10 years. Very simple. This is something that you could do within a week, by the way. Don't overthink it. Just move forward and do it. Right. And by the way, just want to remind you guys, there is a digital income plan workbook. So if you did not receive your digital income plan workbook, just comment workbook in the comments and we will DM you to give you access to that workbook. Okay. So again, just comment workbook to get access to the guidebook for this session. So that way, as you're navigating through this process, you have a step-by-step documentation to help you through that. So again, just comment and you'll be able to get that information out front and center to you to help you. Okay. Just want to make sure. So with that said, so that was the beginning stage, just the foundation. And again, a lot of different gurus and a lot of different influencers say, no, you should be doing this. You should be doing this. Look, if you want me to mentor you through this process, if you trust me, if you trust my lifestyle, and you've seen how I'm navigating in the online space and you want to trust my method and process, I wholly believe that you do these 3 things first to begin your foundational steps. Again, you could do these 3 things and not make money. You could start posting on social media. You could start, putting out the offer. You could, tell people every time you go to a networking, this is your value statement. And you may find that you do not monetize yet. However, it's almost like a pay to play model. You have to do these 3 fundamental steps before you could create visibility for what you do to start monetizing. Okay. And I usually tell people take 30 days to just do these 3 fundamental things. Create that value statement, start putting these free things into the ecosystem, create that flagship offer. And then once you start seeing how people are responding, engaging after 30 days, now you're ready to really start experimenting with the visibility secrets that I'm going to share with you to really get you out front and center to find the right people. Okay. So that covers part 1. Again, the full 45 minutes is a 60-minute webinar on that conversation is available on the links. So that way you can be able to go through that process and definitely use the workbook to help you through navigating part 1. Now we're going to shift into part 2, where I'm going to go really deep dive into the 10-step plan to do that. And I'm focused primarily on the marketing visibility that you need, because digital marketing is very, very hard. Okay. And what that looks like, it starts with your website, social media, email marketing, and then all the different facets of digital inbound marketing and digital outbound marketing. Okay, so we're going to go over all of this today. So, first and foremost, visibility today starts with your website. I don't care what people tell you that you don't need a website, you can use your social media pages. Da, da, da. If you want to be taken seriously and you want to start monetizing your brand, your experiences, your intellect, your skill set, your journey, get the damn website. I am tired of people going back and forth on this because it's not expensive to launch a website in today's age. Literally, it will take you less than $50 to do this and manage this on a year-to-year basis. So you have to start with a website. It's kind of like your HQ for your digital persona. On my website, I have my newsletter, my webinars, my products, updates on my speaking engagements. Anything that has to do about me is on that website. Is the first thing I let people navigate. Even links to my social media pages, like everything they need is on that page, right? And for a lot of people, it gets over, even if it's a landing page, a one page, you don't have to have multiple site pages. You don't even have to have the blog, ready to go. Just have a website ready to go. So that's the first thing, okay? Then we're going to talk about social media, okay? And one thing about social media is when you're doing social media to engage with your friends and family, it's very different than when you're trying to monetize your content and your intellect and your journey, okay? And so I always tell people, what is your goal for social media if this is your goal, which is to monetize and create a digital income? And a lot of people say, well, I'm trying to grow my followers, or they have a lot of vanity goals. I'm trying to, show the best part of my life, so they focus on highlight reels but they don't get vulnerable and show people the real stuff, right? Some of them is like, look, I know I'm supposed to like just tell people about what I'm doing in business, so they treat it as a bulletin board of announcements and updates. Some people are just like, look, like, I don't need to tap into social media, so they just tap out. But now you're suspect because everyone has a social media page, so you not having one just makes you look like, what are you up to, right? And so a lot of people's goals with social media, especially in the digital income space, is very flawed. I always tell people you could have the smallest number of followers, the smallest number of highlight reels. You could literally just be very organic and clear and just honest, and you can monetize like crazy. So realistically, there's only three fundamental goals to social media when you're entering the digital income space. And again, I talked about this in my social media webinar for a full session where I talk about like it's lead generation, lead nurturing, and lead conversion. That is it. That is it. That's the only three goals. So a lot of people, they post. I post every day. I get no job. But the call to action and CTA is what we call it in the digital marketing world. But what was the goal of that post? I'm just posting just to post, but okay, I see you, but what am I supposed to do with it, right? Are you trying to generate leads? Are you trying to get an email, right? Prospecting? Are you trying to nurture people? Okay, people who bought from you before, how are you getting them nurtured? And what I mean by nurture, how are you keeping them excited about you? Are you posting photos about your life? Are you telling them updates of what's going on? Did you launch a product? Did you, went to school again? Did you, travel to another country? That's nurturing. That's managing the ecosystem that you've built. Or is it just, you're trying to sell, you're converting, like, like, hey guys, I just launched a digital course. Hey guys, I just launched a boot camp. Hey guys, I'm doing an event. Come see me here, X, Y, and Z, right? Three fundamental goals. Find new people, manage the ecosystem that you have, and start selling, right? Three goals of social media. That is it, right? And so again, go back to, you can find the link below on that full social media webinar where I talked about, the goals of social media and how to monetize through social media and turn your social media content into cash flow. But really, again, three goals: prospecting, lead generation, management, lead nurturing, and conversion, sales, right? So what does that look like? And a lot of people is like, well, I don't know how to do that. Let me tell you. So when it comes to prospecting, where you're trying to find people to just, enter your ecosystem. And I tell people, you want people to enter your ecosystem through social media, through your meetings, through any engagement you have with people on this planet. The best way to do that is visibility tactics like hashtags, shares, comments, where you're commenting with people. So anytime you comment on people's, and like and engage on people's things, they start to look at your profile and they start to see what you're doing, right? Providing value. I do webinars, I do tips, I share articles, I share strategies, right? And sharing resources. So my resources are my lead magnets, like, my PDF downloads, my checklists, right? Those are things that I'm doing to attract people to me and converted their emails, right? So they see me like, oh, how do I follow up, right? They could download my content. Now I got the emails, okay? Then, there's the issue of nurturing, right? Managing. So what do you do to create consistent connection and credibility amongst the people who know you, they follow you, they engage with you? And for me, I do that through my photos, my videos, behind the scenes. I let people know, like, look, this is my office, this is what I do. This is what's going on. I'm unapologetic who I am. Like, look, one time I'm on the farm, one time I'm in my office, one time I'm in the car. Like, it just happens, right? And through that journey of behind the scenes and things that is going on in my life, I share lessons. I share vulnerable moments. I share people, when I, just, got married, when I just, had another child, when I got pregnant, right? And here, I'm not trying to do any lead caption. I'm not asking for anything in return. I'm just sharing, right? And just building a connection with people who follow me and engage with me. And then last but not least, lead conversion sales, like, hey, flyers, campaigns, like, hey guys, I'm opening up for 7 days for you to register for my new course I'm launching, and I close cart and then I go to work, right? Offerings, plug and play templates, things that I could support people with that are very valuable that they pay for to tap into, right? So that is again, the 3 goals of social media, right? And with that, a lot of people say, okay, I understand the goals. Now, how do I convert that into an action plan? I always tell people you need to have a content calendar cycle, period, right? Where you know what you're posting every single day and you're giving people a variety of value. And this is like a screenshot of my content calendar where I have obviously quotes, webinars, because I do webinar Wednesday. So every Wednesday there's a webinar live of me going up, video clips of me speaking at different engagements. And those video clips are usually like snippets of what I'm talking about. So people get inspired, leverage that knowledge, right? I have articles. I think people are bombarded a lot of different content. So I try to be that curator for people where I share really great articles about personal branding, public speaking, or anything that will help them to gain visibility on the internet. I curate that so people could just follow me and they get all the information that they need on the internet. They don't need to follow 1,000 people to get that information, right? And how I do that, on a regular basis, is stuff I post, but there's stuff that I do to make sure that my social media is optimized, making sure that my profiles are all very consistent and aligned, right? Make sure that I'm engaging with people at the same time every day so they know when to see me. Making sure, again, that I have number 4, a content side, like a variety of different ways that I'm adding value. Some people like to read, some people like to see visuals, some people like videos, right? And giving people different ways of connecting with my content, right? Batching. So people might say like, this is overwhelming, it's too much to do, but I batch. So I batch my content 12 times a year, sometimes 4 times. If I'm about to travel for a quarter, I'll batch and create content for 3 months at a time in one Saturday sitting, right? So it's very, very feasible. You just have to plan and be disciplined, right? And doing campaign cycles. I have quarterly campaigns where I'm selling things that I know are valuable to my audience on a regular basis throughout the year so I can monetize the work that I do. And having KPIs, not, focus on like how many followers do I have, but like, what are my followers that I do have doing, right? Are they engaged with the work that I do? Okay. So these are things that, are very, very, very important to know that are available to you, right? When it comes to creating that content schedule. Okay. So here's a visual of me now, step number 6, converting my social media into sales, where I go through this process of, hosting a webinar, giving people like a free lead magnet. I'm posting me in front of the scenes. I'm speaking at an event, a major event during the United Nations Week in New York. But at the same time, I'm posting photos about me on the farm, like planting cassava and dealing with my chickens. And along that journey, people get to know me. They know my authentic lifestyle. They know what I do. They see me fumble and fall, but also rise and soar. And, they're like, hey, Christine, like, look, I've been seeing that you're doing public speaking all around the world. I want to be a part of your public speaking accelerator. And they book to be a part of that course, right? So this is not just me selling, it's me doing this journey of being open and sharing value, but also my journey so people know and trust and like how I do things and they buy from me, right? And so that journey, obviously, when it comes to social media, I always tell people like there's so many different ways to add visibility to what you're doing. And for me, that visibility has been weekly webinars about call to action, which is a product offer. Even at the end of this webinar, I'll share with you a product that I'm selling in terms of like ways for you to be able to monetize your expertise through a full program that I'm doing, right? So I'm giving you a lot of content for free that you'll be able to go to work with and be able to monetize immediately. But there's more that I could do, and I can't do everything in 1 hour. I mean, clearly I'm trying by doing a 2-part webinar, but there's more that could be provided for those who need a little bit more support, right? So looking at the visibility I'm providing and value by doing these webinars, doing these series, doing these free sessions, and the call to action, something that could really take people to the next level, right? That form of giving, not receiving sometimes, but over time, people building trust and then they buy into the work that you do is literally the blueprint of social media conversion 101, right? And so once you build that, blueprint of really building on social media, now you're stepping into step 7 and 8, which is all about email list building and really building out a set of people who you could nurture through email. And one thing I always tell people when it comes to building a list, never scrape emails. Try to just like build organically, because nowadays people don't want to be bombarded for email, right? So you might be hurting your credibility then saving it by just bombarding people with emails who never signed up. Get your profile in place by having a service provider. My favorite is ConvertKit for beginners because it's a very cheap option. It's a really great conversion tool for those who want to start creating that lead magnet and also the offers that you can monetize online. I really think it's a great tool for that. And then pick a promotion funnel. How do you want to engage people and convert people? Is it through webinars? Is it to Ask Me Anything lives? Is it through podcasts? What do you want to do to really build that email list over time? And then how you manage that list is through a newsletter. So I have a newsletter that goes out on a monthly basis, but every week I give people updates on my webinars. And I have quarterly campaigns of things that I'm doing. And that's how I manage my list on a day-to-day basis, right? And so these campaigns, remember, going back to my value statement, what's my value statement? I help women monetize their experiences online. So I'll start by, host webinars on how to enter the digital creator economy, offer paid products, such as my digital income creator bootcamp, where after going through that webinar series, people might say like, hey, I need more. I need all your templates. I need all your email scripts. And then, I host a paid session, get feedback, and then, keep updating. I'm always updating my content, by the way, because it helps, things are changing so fast that, updating that content helps people tremendously, right? And then, sharing people that email income formula, right? Even if you have 1,000 people on your list and you sell a digital product that costs $500, the industry standard in terms of conversions between 1% and 3%. If 2% of my list, which is 20 buyers, buy that product, I just made 10,000 in sales. And all you got to do is maintain that on a monthly basis, and there you have it. You have a strong email list that's providing for you. And so if this is obviously overwhelming, because going through the process of navigating posting on social media and then building an email list is a lot, I have, again, a full webinar session on how to post in social media as my profit from posts, 7 strategies to earn money consistently through social media. And I also have my free webinar on digital income strategy, email marketing, how to start building an email list and transform your inbox into a cash machine. Right. And if you want to sign up for my boot camps, again, social media content creator income boot camp, you can sign up for it on the link below, or my email list builder, cash flow builder boot camp are both available for you to really navigate that, because some of this content needs more time to flash out. Again, today, the point of today is navigating, walking through the entire journey of building a digital income plan. This is where people get confused, where, okay, how do I dive into each one of these channels? There's a lot of content out there that helps you go through that. And I've created content to drill down to the fundamentals. But again, I'm just walking through the steps so that you know how to navigate the entire journey. So with that said, now you're getting into, the whole entire process of digital inbound marketing. And this is where you see people doing all the things to be visible online, right? So blogging, podcasts, YouTube TV, webinars, right? All of this is trying to, that's why it's called inbound. You do all the things to attract people to you on social media, attract people to you on your website, so that way you're converting them into subscribers, dollars, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, outbound marketing is everything that you're doing off the internet, right, to attract people to your brand, right? So that's public speaking, event hosting, partnerships. I do a lot of this. A lot of people see me on stage all the time, public speaking. This is outbound marketing because you're going out into the market, showing people who you are in person, and that comes back into your ecosystem through that funnel, right? And so with that said, I wanted to share with you this 10-step plan that I talked about from the very beginning is really broken down into phases. So don't get overwhelmed if you feel like I cannot do all this, because all of this I did over years, by the way. What I'm sharing with you can help you do this within a year, right? Let's say you focus on like, okay, first month, 30 days, I'm going to focus on my foundations, creating my value statement, creating a simple lead magnet, and creating a minute flagship offer. That could take you a month. Right. And then you can say, okay, I'm going to take the next 60 to 90 days to work on my fundamentals. I'm going to build my website. I'm going to start creating a social media content plan where I'll post every day just to experiment, to get to know my audience. I'm going to start, converting people through my social media by sharing my lead magnet. So people start signing up for my email list. Now you're in the email list building journey. People are starting to sign up. Even if you have 50 subscribers, 100 subscribers, 150, and you're growing it organically. Now you need to manage them, give them a monthly newsletter so they know what you're doing. Now you're in the intermediate stage, right? Now, the reason why I separate social media and email marketing outside of digital marketing, because it's still part of digital marketing, is because these two are fundamental things that you need to do, regardless of whether you get into blogging, podcasts. Those things are optional things that you could do, right, to grow your audience to scale. But you cannot navigate this digital world, this digital income space, and monetize without a social media strategy, without an email marketing strategy, period, right? Which is why those foundations of you creating that value system and then getting the website, social media, and email marketing strategy are so crucial, because you need to have those three things, right? When you start to scale is when you start to do the public speaking engagements, webinars, the podcast, the blogging, the YouTube TV channel. These are other elements. And I will tell you, some people say like, no, I started my journey through blogging. Okay, that's great. Some people say I started through podcasts, but if you didn't podcast, if you didn't blog, you still would need to do some form of social media marketing, right? So one is vital to you to be successful in this digital income journey. One is not, right? So I walk you through the steps in buckets so you understand where you're navigating through yourself in the journey. If you want to start backwards and move that way, fine. But if you go through this process, I learned this the hard way. I realized like no matter what, I needed to know what my value statement is, create content that really is valuable, have some type being packaged and ready to sell, right? And really create visibility through my website, social media, and email marketing. Everything else was amplifiers, which is the blogging, the podcast, the YouTube TV, the webinars, and so on and so forth, the public speaking engagements, so on and so forth, okay? And so visually what that looks like, so you can see like how this operates in my life with my team and how I do this, is I have a value statement, right? On my website, on my social media is very clear. I tell people, obviously, my titles, like I'm a global speaker, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a tech ecosystem builder. But where I add value to those who come into my ecosystem is that I help women succeed by monetizing online. Okay. So that's my value statement. For people to see the visibility of how I contribute to that value statement is I have my website. Okay, my website you see me, and on my website has all the resources, information, and updates of what I do. On social media, I post about me speaking around the world. I speak in front of thousands. I speak for corporates. I speak for Fortune 500 companies. I speak for a lot of government entities, by the way, right? But I also scale and speak at a lot of different conferences, right? And I post about that on social media. So people are like, look, this girl has a strong personal brand. She's a global speaker. She travels the world. I want to learn from her. I'm like, hey, look, I can't speak to everyone, but here's a checklist, right? A personal brand checklist for those of you who want to download and have access. Those people enter my email list. They hear about my webinars. They stay in touch with me. And through that video format, people like how I teach. They're not just like she's not just doing it, she's living it, and she knows how to teach this. So they sign up to be a part of my accelerator program, where I talk about this entire journey and experience. And I always keep people updated with what's happening in my life and how I do this and what's changed in the market, how to get speaking bookings, how to get visibility, how to build a talk. I share updates on that accelerator throughout the year. And that's how I monetize, through that experience and that journey. Keep in mind, I'm monetizing now, not through just through my experiences. I'm also monetizing through my speaking engagements. I'm also monetizing through my businesses, because I am still an entrepreneur. I have multiple companies that I run, right? So you're able to see all the different ways I make money, but also how I navigate teaching people how to do that, by just pretty much shedding light on what I do, right? And showing you how I do that. It seems simple, but really it's just a step-by-step process, and getting really comfortable with sharing people how you do what you do on a regular basis. And again, anyone who's my day one, who's been following me since 10 plus years ago, has seen my journey, how I evolved with my first business, my second business, my initiatives, my events. So they could tell you, like, I've seen Christina on stage. I've seen her speak at this event. I've seen what she's done. I've seen her team. I've seen her personal assistant. I've seen her workforce. I've seen her office in Ghana, in London, in Dubai. Like, people have seen them engage with me, seen my journey. People have seen my trials and tribulations and follow that journey, so they can say, okay, if she's going to teach about this stuff, she'll tell me the highs and the lows and everything in between. So that way, when I'm going through that journey, I know she's a great mentor. And ultimately, what you're trying to become is not just a teacher, but a mentor or coach, by coaching people through their experiences through yours, right? And that process takes that 10 steps process that I just shared with you, that I hope that you understand how to do through this session, right? And of course, comment what workbook, so that way you could get access to those workbooks, so it help you walk through writing notes on how to do this. You'll see that, as you go through these sessions, you're going to write a lot of different things as you navigate and really go through, okay, what are the things that I've learned how to do, and like, how do I want to monetize that? And you could go back to any of my webinars where I teach you step by step, even how to really go through your life experiences and pick the ones that are probably most valuable to a global audience, that you could start monetizing and really supporting people through that journey, right? So again, this is a 10-step income plan roadmap that you're going to navigate. And this is where you're going to get overwhelmed, because there's so many different influencers that could teach you how to do a social media content plan. There's so many different media influencers that could tell you how to build an email list. And people have different ways of doing it. That's what gets you overwhelmed. It is okay. One suggestion I will say is pick one mentor or two mentors, right? But specifically one, if you can, and follow them along all these different journeys. So that way you don't get overwhelmed of navigating multiple different videos, multiple different courses, multiple different journeys to figure out this out. Because once you figure out the foundations, okay, I have a value statement. This is the value I want to create for someone. For me, is I help women monetize their experiences online by getting them to become public speakers, right? So I have step number 2. I have all these resources that I share through my webinars, through my checklists, through my downloads, to help them for free without asking nothing in return, that they could take it and run with it. And then the offer that I've monetized, because I want to walk people through the step-by-step and coach them through that, is my personal brand accelerator program, my public speaker accelerator booking program, right? By providing those fundamentals to add visibility, because, obviously my network knows that I do it, but there are people who've never met me before. How are they going to find me if they didn't go to school with me, they didn't see me at an event? How would they find me? This is where I create my website, my social media marketing plan, my email list building plan. So I'm managing and nurturing those people through social media, through email marketing. So I get more and more visibility. People are referring me over, like, Christine is the ish. Like, you got to know about it. Now I'm getting more and more visibility. And as I strengthen, this is where you now strengthen your skill set as a digital marketer, and you start blogging, you start podcasts. This is all digital marketing 101, right? Some of you feel like I'm overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed for a reason. It's not easy to do that, especially because you're going through stuff, but it takes practice. Eventually, you'll know, again, what copy to write for your headline, what articles to write, when to publish it. All those little nitty-gritty that you're overwhelming, you're psyching yourself out of, stop it. Just do it, right? Put yourself out there. Go through the process. Go through the motions. You will learn how to effectively get your life together. First and foremost, let me start there. Get your life together. There's so much that you've done in your career. There's something that you figured out that you are proud of, that you know how to do, that you could put out there in the universe, that you could teach other people. Your whole life might not be perfect, but there's one thing that people come to you for that you know how to do very, very well. Package that. Provide that as value to others. And eventually, as you start to grow and share that expertise, you will learn the digital marketing skills to grow the audience and visibility on that. And not only grow your impact and your value, but grow your income as well simultaneously over time. That's the beauty of knowing the step-by-step roadmap, because as you're going through that journey, you learn how to grow your voice, share your thought leadership, really be valuable to others, and really simplify your journey, your systems, your processes for others to replicate that success. All right. So that's what you have, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully that was, helpful to you. Again, this is a 2-part webinar. We started with the digital income generation basics part 1, where we talk about the 3 fundamentals. Today, I wrapped up on the 7 visibility items, which is pretty much the digital marketing secrets that you need to know about. Comment workbook again to be able to get a DM from my team so you could get access to the workbook for this session. Okay. So if this was very helpful, please definitely give me a like and a thumbs up, subscribe. Of course, if you want more support, I am doing an archive presentation because I did this digital income creator bootcamp earlier this year. It went really, really well. Got a lot of great feedback. So it's coming back again. So I'm going to do it live. And I'm actually going to add more information, because this time, in addition to teaching you how to create a digital product, how to market and generate leads, show you my templates and, structures and scripts of how I do this and how to sell a digital product consistently, I also want to share with you the step-by-step social media content plan that will help you actually generate visibility so people can find you. I'm going to walk you through how I organize my notes, how I organize my process, because again, I know you're overwhelmed. I know you got a lot of stuff going on. I will show you that 1-page document that I use to just track everything and really be able to monetize my content, monetize my information, monetize my skill set into a deck, spreadsheets, basic Google Docs, and share that to make incredible value to other people. I will walk you through that process and then end that process with a 7-day kickoff plan for you to do it from Monday to Sunday to kick off your digital income creator journey here this year and move forward with your journey and kick off that sense. I'll tell you what you should be doing on Monday, what you should do on Tuesday and Wednesday. If you skip Wednesday because you had an appointment, okay, get back on track on Thursday. But the point is a 7-day plan to kick off your journey and walk you through the entire plan of getting that done and help you how to find your value statement, package your value so that way people can find that. I'll walk you through that through this week's Digital Income Creator Bootcamp. Sign up with the link below so you could be able to have access to that and all the fundamentals so that way you could just do this and move forward and stop overthinking this process and really tap into the digital creator economy, because this is the world that we live in. And I find that what frustrates me, I think there's a lot more people in this world who have more value than what people are putting out there right now. It's not fair that the people who don't have real value have learned the digital marketing skills to put themselves out there versus someone like you who really know what you're doing. And because you don't have the digital marketing skills, you don't know how to articulate your voice, your value statement to be able to do that. I hope that this session really helps simplify what this world looks like. But furthermore, it helps you understand the journey to really get your voice out there, get your intellect out there, get your systems and strategies and processes and your experiences out there to others who are also trying to navigate similar challenges to you, that you become a really, really, really connecting solution to someone else as well. So hopefully you found that useful. So thank you so much for joining me here today. It was really a pleasure to see all of you, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Definitely join me next week for this live bootcamp session. You got to sign up on the link below. I will be in touch. Thank you again, and best of luck on your journey. This is going to be a wild opportunity for many of you. I know it's going to be tough, but it's worth it. It's worth it to, really think about your journey. Think about the things that you've been through. Think about the things that you've learned, and really damn, all these things in my life might be crazy, but I know this. So for me, public speaking has been that for me. No one can tell me when I get on stage, I shut shit down, right? Public speaking has been something that for me, I didn't realize I had that skill set. I didn't realize I was good at public speaking. I'm not trying to toot my horn, but something happens when I get on stage. I'm getting emotional. Something happens when I get on stage and I teach, right? Either I teach something, and I think I'm a natural born teacher. I even tell people that probably when I retire, I think I'm going to want to still be like a professor that goes up the road to the nearest school and teach the next generation of influencers, because I do love teaching. And it makes sense why I'm doing webinars on a regular basis. It, like, for some people, like, doing a webinar, that's a lot, right? But for me, I light up, right? Because I'm teaching people something I've learned through video format, through my public speaking engagements. And so for me, public speaking has been my medium of sharing my value to the world. And so I know as a female that, women, we get the short end of the stick in many different assets, right? In many different industries and many different facets and, lifestyles. But to be able to know that on a stage, you could just shut shit down. On a video, you could shut things down and really show real value and real intellect and real resources to people just by being your authentic self. I think there's no one better to tell you how to do that than me, because I've been through the ropes. I've done it before. I do it on a regular basis, and I love doing it. And that's another thing too. When you're trying to navigate learning for people who are trying to monetize online and teaching you how to do it, do you even like what the hell they're doing? I like teaching. I like public speaking. I like doing the work that I do. So Q&A, I could go on Q&A for like 10 hours, right? Because it comes to me naturally, and I like what I do, right? And so I really hope that to conclude, that's my alarm to make sure that I don't go on one, because again, this is a really important topic. To conclude, what I will say is, like, look, the world is changing. You know it, you see it, you feel it. We all recognize it. And you can't tap out, right? But how you tap in is very, very important. Okay. And what the world is really forcing us to do is to find discipline, right? You might be overwhelmed with your bills. You might be overwhelmed with your work contribution, your family obligations, your work obligations, your business obligations, your life obligations. Random things are coming up, right? But it's forcing you to be disciplined, right? And one thing you got to give people credit, like those who are out there and got their newsletters, got their website, got their social media plan, it's discipline. I will tell you, I got to discipline myself, because I'm someone, like, I want to check on my chickens. I want to check on my businesses. I want to travel. Heck, I'm a mother of 4. I want to, watch movies with my husband. Like, I want to make sure that I'm living my best life, right? But to create these processes, I have to be disciplined, right? And if you're scared of discipline, this is like, if you want to get into this space of monetizing your experiences and learning how to create value for others and packaging that for others, you gotta be disciplined, right? You gotta know, okay, what's my schedule? And this is where I'm going off tangent here for a reason, because I'm going to tell you right now, like, don't listen to the people who are telling you that you could do this in 30 days or 24 hours or 48 hours. There's systems and processes that you could do in 30 days to kick you off. That's why I said, like, I'm going to give you a template in my digital income creator bootcamp to kick you off the journey. But this is stuff that takes months, weeks, sometimes years to navigate. But the beauty of that is the years are going to come. The months are going to come. The weeks are going to come anyway. So you might as well build over time anyway. And luckily, with the content I'm sharing with you, you're monetizing along the way as you perfect your lifestyle, as you perfect, the work that you do and how you share that. You will learn how to articulate that better and better over time, but you're not stuck there being perfect and not know where to start. And that's the benefit of this conversation. So again, hopefully you found today very useful. I know I truly enjoyed this conversation and sharing my journey and my strategies with you. So best of luck. Again, comment workbook so you get the workbook for this session, so that way it can help you. I think it's very useful to write things down and be able to navigate with resources like this. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. And again, if you want access to the digital income bootcamp, just comment below. You could get access to the link, or go to christinaton.com/learn and get immediate access to the digital income creator bootcamp. So again, thank you and best of luck, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye.